Welcome to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, share and drop your comments. Thank you. In this video, we'll talk about dart manipulations. I'll be answering some questions like, what is a dart? How do I move them? What do I do with them? When do I need a dart? Do I even need it at all? Do they change fit of a dress? We need that because we are trying to take a 2D piece of fabric to cover a 3D body. This is a mannequin that we will be using, and it stands as a human body. Now when you pick a fabric is in 2 dimensions. When you use a 2 dimension to cover a body like this, definitely you have an excess. Okay, this is a fabric, and I put a line on that fabric as the reference line. That line will stand at the center tape of this mannequin. So I'll be trying to pin the fabric on the mannequin as if I want to clothe the mannequin, just to show you what a dart is and how important it is. And I must apologize, this mannequin is not really meant for this purpose. It's just to wear my finished dress, but it will still serve. You still understand what I'm trying to do here. So why some of my pins might be coming off because it is not a fully pinnable mannequin, but let's just manage it for the purpose of this video. So this is me trying to pin my fabric on this mannequin. I want to try to draft or to make a dress, the bodies. So I'll be pinning from the shoulder to the waistline, and just as I put the tape on it. So now as I am pinning, you will see that it will get to a time that will have excess. So let me pin the side now, and I will show you the excess. The excess is what stands as my dart, because once I have those excess, I want to sew it inward. So this excess is what stands. It will radiate from wherever it is coming towards the bust line. After pinning the center and the side, you see the excess at the waist line. You see the excess I'm holding. That excess I'm holding is our dart, and that dart is actually a waist dart because it's from the waist, like from the bust towards the waist. Now that is our waist dart. Can you see me trying to fold it? That is what a dart is. It is trying to take care of the excess at that point. Now there are some interesting facts about that. That can move anywhere on the pattern. This particular that I'm holding, I can take it from there and move it to the center front. I can move it from there to the side seam. I can move it anywhere. That is one funny thing about it. It can move anywhere. Then you can have multiple, and as it's moving, as you are moving it, it doesn't change the fit of the dress. So it doesn't change the fit or how the dress looks on you. Now also you can have multiple darts. You can have multiple, in fact you can have 10, you can have 15 darts if your pattern can accommodate it. So the number of darts does not really matter. I've said 2 things now. I said it can move anywhere. It doesn't change the fit of the dress. You can have multiple darts. You can have up to 17. You can have a single dart. You can make sure your darts are at one point or at one particular side. It doesn't matter. So just watch as I try to pin down the dart at that point. So this is my waist dart. Depending on where the dart is, that is what most times gives it the name. It can be, if it is on the shoulder, you can call it shoulder darts, neck darts. If it is from the neck, we have a bust dart and several other type of darts. So this is me trying to pin the waist dart. That is the SS at that point. So I'll pin it down, and I'll go to the shoulder. I have SS at the shoulder too. So the SS at my shoulder, I'll pin it also to stand as the shoulder dart. As you can see, our shoulder dart is already forming. So I had two darts on this pattern, or on this mannequin, as I'm trying to make my 2D fabric into to cover a 3D body. So now I have shoulder dart and I have waist dart. I'm struggling to put my pin into it because, as I said, this is not a fully pinnable mannequin. So the pin is coming off. I'm just trying to, but I hope you understand what I'm showing you, what I'm trying to do here. So now you see that the excess we have on the fabric has been taken care of. The excess has been taken care of, and the fabric, it is more fitted. Is fitting more than the way it was. So if this dart is not there, there will be excess. There will be excess. So now I'll move the shoulder dart. I'll move it to the waist. I mean to the side seam, so that we'll have a side dart instead. Like I said earlier, your dart, you can move your dart from any. You can move it from anywhere. Once you understand how this dart manipulation, you can manipulate your dart anyhow you want it, or to make any design of your choice. So now I moved the dart from the shoulder. I move it to the side seam. From the shoulder to the side seam, just trying to take off all the excess. And as I said also, you can have as many darts as you want. So now I move the dart from the shoulder, move it to the side, and I can as well move it from that side again and bring it to the waist, so that now I'm having two darts on the bodies, or on the sloper. Now I can decide to make it just one single dart. So it depends on what you want to do, or your design, what you want to achieve. You can have multiple darts, you can have a single dart. And if you are working with a fabric that is stretchy, you might not need, you don't need a dart. If you are sewing a stretchy material that is fitted, you don't need a dart. And now also, because our dart as is more of the SSD, difference between the bust and the waist, that is the fullest part of the body, and the waist, darts are not necessary for children. When you look at the children wear, or the children without bust, their bust and the waist most times are not far from each other. Maybe the waist is 25, the bust is like 26, 27. So there is no significant difference in their bust and waist, or even the waist and the hip. So because of that, you don't really need a dart for children. So for children's wear, you don't need it because they don't have a distinct figure. Like the difference between their waist and their bust is not much. So you don't need a dart when you're sewing for children. And when you're sewing free dresses that doesn't need to be fitted, you don't need a dart. You only use a dart when you want the figure, you want the shape to come out well. So this is, I have transferred the dart from the shoulder to the waist. I've transferred it to the waist. So now I have side darts and waist darts. Initially we started with shoulder darts and waist darts. Now it is a side dart and waist dart. So I'll mark and I'll cut out this pattern. I'll place it on the pattern paper. So this is me trying to mark my bust apex, and also mark my dart so that I will know where to transfer, or where the dart is. So I'll be transferring this. I will cut it out and I'll take my pattern paper, I will transfer it. So on the pattern paper I will show you how to move your dart, and I will sew it. And we'll see the difference, maybe while moving it, if there's any change in fit. As I said that whereas there's no change in fit when you move your dart. There's no major change in fit. It's just the design or the sewing, where the seam falls that will change. It doesn't change the effect, the overall effect of on the garment eventually. So stay as I cut. I'll cut it now, and we'll transfer to our pattern paper. While we do that, let me try to explain the parts, or parts of that. What are the parts, the different parts of a dart called? Now from this image, you see that we have dart legs. We have the leg, we have the dart base, we have the apex. You see the center fold, and also dart volume. The dart volume is the whole excess, that is the excess fabric that will sew. That is the volume. This is a cone. That is a way to make a cone to accommodate a bust. So you're trying to achieve this to accommodate the bust, and this is a circle that stands as the center, stands as the bust point. Now if I want to make a cone with this circle, I can, if I draw my, it doesn't matter where I draw the line, it doesn't matter the direction. All that matters is making the cone. So that is why I said your dart can be anywhere on your bodies. It doesn't matter. What matters is you making that cone. So here I'm trying to show you that irrespective of where I put my dart, it doesn't matter. So let me just draw these lines, and let's try to make a cone. Let's try to make a cone, and so that you understand that irrespective of where your dart is, it does not matter. You can put it by the side, you can put it on the waist, you can put it on the shoulder, you can put it, it can come from the neck, anywhere. It doesn't matter, and it does not affect the fit of the dress, as I said earlier. All that matters is the dart to radiate, that is to come from the tip of the bust. It does not matter the direction it goes, it will still give us the same fit. Okay, now after drawing all these lines, see as I will try to make the cone. That is try to make the cone that will accommodate the bust, which I said is that is what a dart does. So let me cut the first line and try to make that cone. You see, so irrespective of where I cut, it doesn't matter. All that matters is making this cone. The only difference is the next dart. If I take less dart. My cone will be shallow. Like this one is a shallow cone. It's not very deep inside. And this is for a large bust. The more dart I take, the taller the cone will be. And that works for a large bust to waist differential. So, and as I said earlier, you can make a single dart, but if a single dart is too big, you can divide it and make smaller darts. But irrespective of where you make the darts, it doesn't matter. What matters is for you to make a dart that will take the excess on the fabric. And the amount of excess you have will determine how many darts you want to take. You feel like you want to take. If you don't have much darts, then if you don't have much excess, a single dart might be okay. But if your dart is much, then you can, or if you want to use that as design, then you can take as many from anywhere you want. So this is just me trying to show you that if the dart is much, then your cone will be sharper. If you have a less dart to take, then you have a shallow cone. You see, the more I close the darts, the more my cone, or the sharper the cone appears. So it is safe to say that the amount of dart fullness you need depends on the shape and the height of the bust. The fullness of the bust determines how much dart excess you will have to work with. If you have a small bust, you will not have a lot of excess or a lot of overlap of the triangles. So the bust determines how much that you will take. So now let's take our pattern and the fabric that we drape on the mannequin. Let's bring it to our paper, so that we'll transfer it to the paper so that we can have our pattern on the paper. Then I'll show you how to move your darts, which is the dart manipulation. So I'll put the fabric, the clothes on the paper and trace it out. And mark the dart points. All right, this is what we have. We have the waist dart and the side darts. All right, let's start with moving of that. For the first one I'll do is I'll move the side dart. I'll move it to the shoulder. So we'll close up the side darts and I will take it to the shoulder. So the first thing I did there, what I did there is to just draw a line from my shoulder to my bust point. Line from my shoulder to my bust point. Then I will cut the dart leg of the side dart. So I'll cut the dart leg. Then I'll also cut this line that runs from the shoulder. I'll cut it so that I can be able to move my pattern paper, so that I'll be able to move it, to pivot it. So I'll close up my side dart. That is how to move your darts. So what I did just now is to move my dart from the side to the shoulder. What just happened? You see that the shoulder dart is longer. It's longer because of where the bust point is, but it does not affect the fit. The fit is still exactly the same. By the time I sew the darts now, and I put it on the mannequin, it's, even though the dart has moved, it still does not affect how the dress will look on the owner. So now, instead of maintaining the side dart and the waist dart, now I am moving the dart to the shoulder. So now on this pattern, now I will have shoulder dart and waist dart. And as I have said earlier, it won't affect the look, it won't affect the fit, how the clothes will fit the owner. The only thing that will change is where the dart is located. That is where you will sew, where the sewing will show. That is the only thing that will change, but the fit is still perfect, the same. The fit is, so now this is how to move your dart. And why do I need to move my dart? You move your dart because maybe you don't want your dart to be at the side, or you want to use the dart to make a design on the shoulder. So you just move it and you do whatever you want to do with it. So just trying to cover that place and cut it. So we have successfully moved our dart from the side to the shoulder. So easy. So I'll just take this on I will put it on the fabric and I will cut it out, just because I want to sew it and show you that it doesn't affect the fit. So for each manipulation I do in this video, I will make I'll cut a fabric and I will sew the dart, put it on the mannequin for you to see. When doing that manipulation, you start from the apex. That is, you start manipulating, you start moving it from the apex. But when you want to sew your dart, you don't sew from the apex. The apex is that bust point. You don't sew from there. You have to move away from the bust point by 5/8 of an inch to like 1.5 inches from the apex. The larger the bust, the larger the apex zone, the further away from it you need to make your dart. That means if your bust is large, then you move away for like 1.5 inches. This is the fabric on my machine, trying to mark where I'll end the dart. So I'll move away from that apex and I'll sew the sample. So this is me trying to show you. You fold your darts like this, the dart legs facing each other like this on the wrong side of your fabric, and you take it to your sewing machine and sew. Don't forget, you are not getting to the apex. You are sewing your sewing must not get to the apex. So this is me just trying to show you how to sew the darts. And after sewing these darts, we'll take it to the mannequin and wear it to see the fit. And after that, we'll continue with the manipulation. If you have not subscribed to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. So on the shoulder dart and the bust dart, look at how it looks on this mannequin. Don't sorry about the material is fraying, so just don't mind the material fraying, but just look at what I'm trying to show you. This is the fit. This is how it looks on the mannequin with a shoulder and a waist dart. So we'll go back to the table to move our pattern again. So now I will close the shoulder dart again, and we will open up our side dart. I'll close the shoulder dart. I'll also close the side dart. I'll move the dart, I'll move it to the waist so that I will now have just one single dart. And after that, I'll take it to I'll cut the fabric, I'll sew, and I'll wear it on the mannequin so that you can see how it fits. So now what I have is just one single dart. I want you to notice that I always fold my dart legs together before cutting my pattern. The reason for this is if I cut it without folding, the the dart leg will be short. So you need to close your dart the way I'm doing before you cut. So after closing it, then you cut. Please don't cut straight. You see the center of the dart, you see that it's longer. So if I had not fold it this way, I will not get that, and it will make my dart short. So I'll take these pieces to my fabric and I'll cut it out. After sewing, this is what I have. So this is just a single dart, a single waist dart on the mannequin. It is still the same fit. The fit does not change. The fit does not change. I cannot emphasize that enough. Okay, we'll go back to the table and manipulate our dart once again. So this is the waist dart that we have, just one single dart. I'll cut the dart leg open. I'll cut the dart open and I will move the dart to my center. And because this dart is big, I will just cut, I will half it. That means I will not move the entire dart. I will not move the entire dart to the side. So I will just reduce the dart. So that means I will still maintain the waist dart, but I will reduce the size now. Then I'll move the remaining the excess now. I'll move it to this to the front. So you can draw your dart. I'm just trying to show you that you can move it anywhere. So I just move it straight to the center. Yes, the dart will come from the center towards the bust point. What you will notice is this movement, it's somehow affecting the length of the dart. It is only the length is affecting. It does not affect the final view, or the, how do I put it now, the final outlook of the dart. But because like now the center of the dress to the bust point is not too far, so you see that the dart length is short, unlike when we took our dart from the shoulder to the bust point. Even though the length is short, it does not affect the outcome of the dart. So now I still maintain the waist dart, but I reduced it. I reduced the width or the fullness now. So I now move that fullness to the center dart. That is the yes, to the center dart. So I'll close that. I'll put a paper on it and I'll cut the fabric. We'll sew it and still wear it for the mannequin, and you'll see that it does not change the fit as usual. So you see what we have, the fit still remains the same, even though we have moved the dart. So that is how you just you move your dart. And as I said, you can have as many as 10 darts. You can have a single dart. Let's go back to draping of our fabric on the mannequin. I want to show you, this is the final part of this video. I want to show you that you can use your dart. You don't necessarily have to sew the dart as that. You can use it as, or you can use it to design your outfit now. For example, instead of sewing a dart the way we've been doing in this video, you can gather the darts. That is the, that now is the excess in your fabric. So instead of making it a single dart, You can make it like 2-3 dots, that is small dots, like pin tucks. You can make it into that for design, or you can just gather your dots. You can make it into gathers. And then when you look at some designs, you need the knowledge of this dot manipulation to do some design. So this is me just trying to show you that instead of sewing a single waist dart or a single shoulder dart, you can pick it, you can gather it, and they'll make it into something nice that will add like a decoration or design to your outfit. For example, like this image on display, it is the excess the excess fabric that were used to make this pin tuck. So you can decide to use your own excess to design your fabric also. So you can do some other manipulation to increase the volume of this excess that is on your fabric. So there are so many things you can do with that manipulation, but I hope you've been able to gain 1 or 2 things. You understand the techniques or the basis of that manipulation in this video. If you've made it this far, that means you derive value from my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if things like this are what you will want to always watch or learn. Please subscribe, because I'll be doing a lot of that manipulation videos on how to use this dart manipulation to create designs, to create pattern for your clothes. And if you subscribe, don't forget to click the notification icon, like the video, drop your comments, engage this video, and if there's anything you want me to still talk about, drop it in the comments section. I will definitely see it and I will attend to it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.